Hello, my name is Ali Carter. I am the founder of Mediate UK, and I wanted to talk to you today a little bit about the difference between cohabiting and marital rights. So the first thing to say is that there is no such thing as common law spouses in the UK or in England and Wales, which is the law which governs us. So you could be living with someone for 20 years. It doesn't bring you any closer together than a couple who've been living together for 6 months. But the key difference is if you actually got married, you're legally married, because you then fall under the Matrimonial Causes Act, and it's a whole different area of law. So we'll start with cohabiting. You may have certain rights with regards to the property that you're living in and any jointly owned assets. So you have a joint savings or something like that, then yes, the starting point would be 50-50 unless you have a legal agreement drafted. With regards to the property, if you're both on the property, again, the starting point is a 50-50. You fall under a law called Talata, and you may want to have some negotiations and agreements about how you're going to resolve that, so that you can both move on with your lives. But there is less grey areas, less fluidity with the options that a court would be able to decide if you can't agree. If you are buying a place together, you should look, and one of you is putting in, 100% of the deposit or a lot of money into it, or it's already in their name and the other person is moving in. You may want to consider a cohabitation agreement. It's not the sexiest thing to do and to get the relationship off on the right start when you're moving in, but wow, goodness me, it can save quite a few issues later on down the line. So have a look at that if you're looking at moving in together. But if you're already there and you're separating, then if your name isn't on the property, you may still be able to have a claim on that property, especially if you can show that you've been contributing to it, you've been paying towards the mortgage, paying the bills, or you've helped improve it, build an extension out the back. So that area is quite complicated. Get some legal advice on that, but you may have a claim on the house, or you may be able to live there for a few years whilst you're sorting yourself out, getting back on the career path if you've had children, for example, and the court might allow that to happen as well. But you do not have a claim on the property the same as if you were married. So what else comes under that? Well, the area of child maintenance is a separate area of law. That doesn't matter so much if you're married or just cohabiting or in a relationship, or goodness, not even in a relationship. If you're both parents, you both have responsibilities towards the children. Part of that responsibilities is child maintenance. There's another whole blog on child maintenance, and there's a calculator online, the one area of family law where you can put in your details and it tells you what you should do. Woohoo, that's brilliant. So child maintenance is a different area. Doesn't matter if you're married or not. Finally, with regards to things like pensions or spousal maintenance, or a claim on the other person's savings or assets, if you're not married, you really haven't got any right to any of those. So you can get some legal advice, but in most circumstances, you're not going to be able to have a claim on the other person's assets. There is an area of law called Section 1 of the Children's Act. This is where you can ask for court to make a payment to you from the other party if you have children together, and it's a complicated area of law. You really got to get some really good legal advice around it, and it's usually in cases where one party has substantial assets to make that sort of claim worthwhile. If you're married, then you've entered into a legally binding contract, if you like, with your spouse. And part of that is that your assets are considered joint. Doesn't matter whose name it's in. Doesn't matter who contributed towards the mortgage, who had a job, who didn't. And you have far more rights with regards to your financial future. So, for example, you can make claims on pension. You need to both be looking at your needs moving forwards. You can have claims against savings, assets, businesses, anything that has a value over £500, you could have a claim on with regards to moving forwards on that. So you have far more rights if you're married than if you are not. Again, if you're looking for what am I entitled to, then you can take some legal advice. If you're using Mediate UK, we do it as a fixed fee package with solicitors, and they'll give you a report of the sort of thing you should be looking at. But the advice, and I say this a lot, and I hope eventually it goes in, the best advice I can give you is to look at your needs moving forwards. Family law is all about need. What do I realistically need to move forwards with my lives? And you've got to look at the needs of both parties there. It's not just looking at the needs of one. If you do that, you're going to get yourself off to a really good footing to move forwards and hopefully keep as much money within the family pot as possible. So there you go. The difference between cohabiting and marital is huge. If in doubt, get yourself some good financial advice. And if you're not sure, we'll offer a free 15-minute consultation. Give us a call and we'll see if we can help you too. Many thanks.